and thank you for joining me for this segment of our Leaf Learning Series, How to Make Tinctures and Topicals at Home. Again, my name is Whittney. I'm one of the Leaf411 nurse agents. Today, we will be learning how to make homemade Cbd lotion with our Leaf411 Infusion machine. For starters on making this lotion, we will be following the Flower Hour Special Easy CBD Hand and Body Moisturizer by recipe by Erin Willis. This was originally streamed over on Levo's Instagram page in 2020. However, what we are doing here is a little different, but I would like to give credit where credit is due. Okay, so let's get ourselves set up for success. We have our Levo pod full of our CBD flower. We've got our coconut oil. We've got our sweet almond oil. That's for the infusion. Then we also have our lavender, chamomile, and I also threw in some calendula flowers too. Now, for the end, we have our cocoa butter and our beeswax pellets, as well as some vitamin E oil. Then, if you'd like, you may add some essential oils of your choice. But of course, you don't have to add any of these if you have restrictions based on your allergies or your skin needs. So let's get started. First thing I'll do is I'll set our pod into our Levo machine. Now, I'm going to activate this CBD flower. Why do we need to activate it, you ask? Well, when cannabis is in its raw form, it still has its acid group attached to its chemical structure. And without getting too in-depth here, suffice it to say that that acid group needs to be removed in order for the body to efficiently use it. Now, raw forms of cannabis do have their advantages and unique medicinal qualities. However, I want this topical to be readily available for the skin to use. So I'm going to go ahead and activate it. I've set the temperature to 240 degrees and the time for 30 minutes. Well, guys, that sound means that our CBD flower has finished decarboxylating. Time to add our coconut oil and our sweet almond oil for the infusion. Let's get started. Also, don't forget your little stir bar. This is a fantastic, handy little doodad that Levo has provided for you. So, we have just set the temperature to 200 degrees, time for 2 hours. Let's let this infuse. While our infusion is cooling, let's take a deep dive into our Levo machine. As you can see, I've turned it off. Let's turn it back on. Everything is lit up. Now, let's look at this screen one piece at a time. On this side, we have the choice to dry, activate, or infuse our products. All of these has set temperatures that the Levo has the parameters done for you. If you'd like to change those, we can go right here to adjust the time and right here to adjust the temperature. This button right here locks and unlocks the lid. Let's unlock the lid. And over here again is our on and off button, also a pause and start. The screen itself is very handy to let you know what it's doing and how much time you have left and the temperature. Over here we have a little indicator to let us know if the lid is locked or unlocked. Also, what's cool about the Levo machine is that it has handy dandy Wi-Fi that you can connect to your iPad or iPhone or any other device. That is handy because it will let you know what cycle it's in, how much time is left, and the temperature. And lastly, we have this button here, which is the dispense button. Since our Levo machine is empty, we won't have anything to dispense, but you can listen to the noises. Okay guys, well that's it for our deep dive into the Levo machine. Well everybody, that sound means that the infusion is complete. We are back, it's been 2 hours time, and now it's time to switch the CBD flower pod and put our lavender, calendula, and chamomile flowers in the pod. Now, make sure that you turn down the temperature to 175 for 30 minutes. These flowers are a little more fragile than the CBD flowers. Also, make sure you have an oven mitt because that pod may get hot whenever you're switching it out, and also a glove for your other hand. You don't want those oils saturating into your hands quite yet. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay guys, we'll see you back here in half an hour. You guys know what that sound means. Our second infusion of flowers are complete. We have now infused our CBD flower, calendula, lavender, and chamomile. Next step is to input the cocoa butter and the beeswax pellets, as well as the vitamin E. Now this won't take but about 5 minutes, and we're going to do it low and slow at about 150, 160 degrees. So let's switch everything out and get to the last step. Okay guys, we'll see you in another 5 minutes. Now that we've dispensed everything, let's add our essential oils and get it whipped up. And there you have it. You have made yourself a homemade hand cream, CBD infused with lavender, chamomile, and calendula flower. Here is a final product that we made yesterday. It's very creamy and smooth. It set very well. Also, don't forget, label your stuff. Lastly, After all of these products have been made, I like to be informed of my ratio. So I submit a small amount to the Good Lab in Colorado Springs for analysis. Here within the state of Colorado, this is the only consumer testing lab available for those that want to know what is in their product in terms of ratio. Since we just made this lotion, it'll be very difficult to know truly what is our CBD to THC ratio. However, I have submitted products down there in the past, and this is what a basic lab sheet would look like. They would give you your CBD to THC ratio as well as other minor phytocannabinoids, and then your milligrams per milliliter. It's a very handy lab to have around, and I appreciate them. Now, if you're located outside of the state of Colorado, you are more than welcome to send them some hemp CBD products, but if it has THC, it cannot be accepted. Next up, let's take a look at all the different infusions that we can make with the Levo machine. Of course, this is just a small snippet of what this fancy gadget can do for you, but we will start off with our first infusion of an extra virgin olive oil. This is stored in a dark container that's also placed in a cool, dark location because extra virgin olive oil has a shelf life of about 18 to 24 months. Now we definitely need to make sure that the lid is on tight because we don't want it to go rancid. Second, we have our infusion of coconut oil. This is also stored in a cool, dark spot in a dark jar. Coconut oil has a shelf life of 24 months or 2 years. That's why a lot of people like to keep it around. And lastly, we have our lotion infusion that we did for us today. This was made with a combination of coconut oils and a bunch of other butters. I believe it will be shelf stable for up to 24 months, especially if kept in a cool, dark location, and it's in, again, that dark jar. One thing that we didn't really dive into that is very important is your labeling. Those labels. We kind of touched on labels earlier, but it's very important for you to know what product you've made. Of course, the Levo machine does document this, but just for added quality assurance, make sure that you write everything down. Now, here's the one that we made earlier today. I've made sure that I put that it's for the Leaf Learning Series, and this was batch number 2, and this was my lotion. I've also documented this elsewhere in my notebook here because I don't want to forget about it. Now, I can show you guys some of these other infusions. They were made with THC products, but I like to kind of write myself little bitty notes. What was the cultivar? This cultivar was Presidential Kush. How much was used? 10 grams. How much coconut oil was used? 8 ounces. When was the infusion done? Oh my, 4/15/2020. So this, you guys, has been around for about a year. It's been in a cool, dark spot. I still can utilize it. Sometimes I use it as a topical. Sometimes I use it in my food. But that's what it looks like. And this is what that topical looks like. Smooth and creamy. Well, there you have it. That was a deep dive into the labeling and the importance of labeling your Levo infusions. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.